if you get the points to lift just up enough so you can get it above 4 points. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. The next game we're going to check out is a battle that's in the NFC North with a number of playoff implications, or at least for one team, as the Detroit Lions make a big home game against the Chicago Bears. The Bears are 3-2 and 3-12 entering this game, with the Detroit Lions 7-8. This one is on Fox. The Lions right now, where I see it, are 6-point favorites with the over-under set at 52 points. Some gambling trends before we get everyone's analysis. The underdog is 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 meetings between the Bears and Lions. While the Bears are 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 road games, the Lions are 8-0 against the spread in their last 8 games versus NFC North opponents. The over is 8-1 in the Bears' last 9 games overall, and the over is 5-1 in the Lions' last 6 games versus divisional opponents. Adam, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on this one? I feel like I know where you're going to go on the money line, but when it comes to the spread, can we trust Chicago?
Yeah, I think Detroit finally back at home where they play a lot better. But as far as trusting Chicago, this is one of these teams here, and I think as you get to the last 2 weeks of the year as a handicapper or a bettor, you really got to pay attention to teams that have something to play for and some that don't have something to play for. If you're looking at this game and you're thinking Chicago's going to come in and play all their starters and Fields and really trying to go after this game, you got to pay attention to who's going to be sitting, who's not going to be sitting. Sometimes they want to get some younger guys into play. But if this game is straight up as Chicago's going to come in and try to play to win the game, Detroit's defense is 20th against the rush. So that's got Chicago written all over it. Chicago's, if one thing they've been able to do this year, it's been run the ball, obviously, with Fields against these poor rush defenses. Detroit does play much better at home. It was a bad loss against Carolina. I think that was the game we really needed to have. Now they definitely need to have this game back home against Chicago. Chicago is 1-6 on the road this year, which I don't like. But at 5.5, I like Chicago's running game enough to control the clock and keep this game somewhat close here. So if I had to take one on the spread, I'd buy it up to 6.5, and I would take Chicago with the points. But like you mentioned, I would definitely take Detroit in the money line here. It's probably the smarter play. But for the point wise, I would take Chicago plus 6.5. And as far as the over under, I think you're gonna have a lot of people looking at the over in this game. But I think what Chicago's game plan would be to run it and keep it close to the vest. So I would actually lean towards the under on this one, where I know a lot of people will be taking a look at the over.
I'll jump in off of that. Adam, I'm going to be one of those people going in the other direction than you. I really like the over in this one. The trends kind of speak to that, as well as I think these are 2 defenses that are really bad in a number of ways. I think Justin Fields could get a number of yards on big plays. I think David Montgomery could have a good game. So I like Detroit on the money line. I like the under right now. It's under 50.5 if I buy it up. The 1.5 is Fumble Sports always does. So I love the under in this play, or rather buy it down to make sure I get the over. But that said, I am leaning maybe just slightly towards Chicago covering. Something is telling me that there's a chance of that. I'm not quite there yet. I'm waiting to see where the public money goes. I'm hoping it makes it a little bit more favorable. But that said, the Fumble Sports pick is Detroit on the money line and the over after you buy a 1.5, while we are considering Chicago on a cover play. Lope, I'll let you round this out. Do you agree with me or Adam on this one? Do you like the over or the under in this play?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the over. I just can't trust the defenses, and especially when you saw the Lions' run defense has been so bad. That's exactly what Carolina's game plan was, and I think that Chicago's just gonna be able to run it and get some big plays and big chunk yardages. So, especially inside. As for that, I'm kind of with you. I'm a little weary. I'll take the Lions on the money line, but I'm a little leery on them covering the 6 points. So I think for right now, the strong play is the over.
Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you're following us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Fumble Sports, and of course on Twitter at Sports Fumble. Appreciate all of you joining us, and of course appreciate the number of people who are a member of our buddies community, those who are following us and giving us their fantasy questions and game pick questions. Make sure you do as well. We're going to have a number of sessions throughout the week to make sure we answer all of your fantasy and gambling questions for NFL Week 17. So make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports